Hi friends, in today's video I'm going to be sharing 3 recipes from last week. They're all very easy. This first one here is some sliders. I got the inspiration for the recipe from Whitney at Humbly Cooking. I'll link her Instagram down below, and she shared the actual recipe in one of her highlights, so you can find it there. I modified it because John is pretty picky, but I'm sure if you follow her recipe exactly, it will be probably dope. So you see here I have the Hawaiian rolls. I sliced them in half, laid the bottom half on a baking sheet with some foil, put some ham, some Swiss cheese, laid the top half back on, and then you're gonna cover it with this mixture of melted butter, a tablespoon of Dijon mustard, and some salt and pepper, and then you're gonna bake it at 350 for 15 minutes. Oh, I forgot to say that you cover it with foil and then you bake it 15 minutes at 350. And to pair with this meal, I went ahead and made some corn. I like to jazz up some canned corn, so I just add some ranch seasoning and some flakes of Parmesan cheese. So it's super easy. I literally just microwaved the can of corn and then added the seasoning, added the cheese, and sliders are done, and there is my first dinner idea for the week. For our second dinner, we are having bulgogi. I have shared this recipe on my channel before, so I'm not going to go into too much detail, but basically I put my broccoli on a sheet pan with some foil. Cook your vegetable however you want. I just did some olive oil and some fajita seasoning. It is my go-to. And then I baked it at 400 for probably like 25 minutes. I normally just keep an eye on it. Alright, and now we're going to brown our lean ground beef, or whatever type of beef you want, but I'm using lean ground beef here, and I like to keep it in bigger chunks just because that's what John enjoys, and it doesn't make a difference to me. And then you're going to add some hoisin sauce once the meat is fully cooked, some barbecue sauce, and again, I have all these measurements in my previous video. I'll link it in the description as well. Some soy sauce, some sesame oil, and be very careful because this is a super strong flavor. A ton of garlic powder, and give it all a mix. Once that is well mixed, you can pull your broccoli out and add that to the pan and mix all of that together. You see there on my stove, I had some rice cooking, and that's because I forgot to start my rice in my rice cooker at the beginning of all this, and I just didn't have time for that, so I had to do it on the stove, and it's much faster that way, but I don't think it turns out quite as good. There is your super fast, super easy second dinner for the week. our final dinner, which is probably my favorite, but we don't have it all that often because it is not the healthiest, but it is pretty quick if you use my tips and tricks that I'm going to share. So first you want to melt 4 tablespoons of butter in a pan, add 2 tablespoons of flour to that once it's melted, and stir until it is smooth. And again, I'll have this recipe linked in the description below so you can get the temperature and everything. And then to that mixture, you're adding 2 cups of milk. Stir again. And then you're going to add half a teaspoon of salt, half a teaspoon of pepper, half a teaspoon of onion powder, half a teaspoon of garlic powder, half a teaspoon of ground mustard, and give it another mix. I like this recipe because I only have to use 1 measuring spoon for all of the seasonings. So you just want to mix this until it thickens up. And then in this bowl here, I have some shredded sharp cheddar, 1 cup of it, 1.5 cups of shredded mozzarella cheese, 4 ounces of cream cheese, and 1/3 cup of sour cream. And you're going to add that and go ahead and give it another mix. Once all of that is incorporated, you're going to add in your buffalo sauce. The recipe says 1/3 cup, but I personally add more than that until I think that it tastes buffalo-y enough. Okay, and now we are going to add in our shredded chicken. I personally always just use the pre-cooked, pre-shredded chicken from H-E-B because this recipe could take a long time and I don't have time for that after work. So I use 1 package of that, and then also I use 2 packages of pre-cooked macaroni noodles. And again, with this recipe, I am just trying to make it as fast as I can so that I can get in the tub and relax after dinner as soon as possible. So now that everything is incorporated, we're going to go ahead and spray a baking dish, pour the mixture into it, and sprinkle some cheese on top. Get it in the oven at 350 for 15 minutes. And there you guys have it, my first What's for Dinner video. I hope that y'all liked it. I love watching them myself. So again, check the description box for all the helpful links. And thank you guys so much for watching. Like the video if you enjoyed it, comment down below, just say hi to me, or let me know if you're thinking about trying any of these recipes, and subscribe if you want to stick around. Thank you so much and have a great week.